Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of CarnivorousGrama Speaks Women of Wisdom series. Tonight, I am super excited to be here with my friend Terri. Hey, Terri.
Hey, how is everybody?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys are watching live or watching on the replay, just drop where you're from in the comments, and we are looking forward to having this great conversation. But as always, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and read my scripture for this series. It is Proverbs 14:1, and it says, "The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands." And I love this scripture because I feel like since women have so much power in the kitchen, a lot of times the woman is the one who's making decisions and choices about food and eating. And when we make better choices for ourselves, we also make better choices for our families. So
Yep.
this scripture really resonates with me, particularly for the Women of Wisdom series. So welcome, Terri. I would love it
Thank
if you would go
you.
ahead and just introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. And if you're watching on my channel, hi, everybody. Drop a comment down below. But yeah, I'm Terri Carver, and I have been a carnivore for about 2 years, but not a strict one, maybe more like a ketovore. But because of last month and World Carnivore Month and some people that got into my life, I've been more strict and I've been more really paying more intentional, had more intentionality to what I was eating. And I became a carnivore, a straight out carnivore. So,
Awesome, awesome,
yeah,
awesome, awesome. Isn't the carnivore like the most amazing thing ever?
it
It's like,
is. I would have never thought all of the things that can be healed by it, that you get from it. I mean, literally, between God and carnivore, it saved my life.
yes,
It
I hear
saved
you.
my
I
life.
hear you. Wow. So let's get started. And I want to have you just kind of start us from the beginning. Tonight is all about you, Miss Terri, and we want to hear
Ooh.
your story. So can you just share a little bit about your childhood, your life journey, and what are the things that influenced you, and who you are today?
Okay. Well, I was originally born in St. Louis. My parents were older parents, and I had a mom who was extremely protective. And honestly, I know my food journey started with her. I mean, she was very good cook. My dad was a very good cook, but she was about having what we considered a balanced meal. We had the protein, we had the starch, and we had the vegetable. And
Yep.
we had that at every meal until later on in life, then when fast food started being more popular. On Friday night, she's like, I ain't cooking. But why I say she's part of my journey, she's also the reason for, I say I have a slight eating disorder. I am a
Mm,
carb addict. Um, she believed that children should be plump and that
mm.
they weren't healthy unless they were. She literally put me in the hospital because that was back in the day when your parents could request you to go to the hospital. She put me in the hospital at the age of 5 because she told my pediatrician I wasn't eating right and or eating enough, and that she needed to run some tests on me, even though my pediatrician said she's fine. She will eat when she's hungry.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's, I think back on that and I tried to make sure I didn't do the same thing as my kids were growing up. So that's some of my food journey. Some of the other things, though, that are really positive, though, in my life. We used to take a lot of vacations. Well, we didn't take a lot of vacations, but we did. My dad liked to travel. We like to do family reunions, especially on my mom's side of the family. Again, some more good cooks. Everybody was a good cook in my family. So that didn't help. Okay. um, I had dance lessons. So that's why I have a love for dance now. I took ballet, I took tap, I took jazz, I took piano. Actually, 13 years of piano. I had classical piano and jazz piano.
Nice.
I did performances at church. I did singing. I was in uh, the chorus in high school. So I did all the things. I had the typical uh, childhood and very active in my life. Maybe not as physically active because again, my mom believed that girls didn't need to be as physical as boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't believe in girls really playing sports or anything like that. They were supposed to be the cute ones playing the piano, maybe doing ballet, but but that's about it.
Those mindsets, play out um, with our parents and the things that they incorporate into us. That is very interesting about, girls not being active. Girls kind of, I know girls used to like sit down, they got the vapors and they just sat.
Yeah, right. I got the vapors. Oh my god, I can't breathe. Well, you couldn't breathe because your corset was too tight. I mean, it would squeeze us into stuff.
Yes. But those mindsets about food and
Mhm.
eating and health
Mhm.
being passed down from generation to generation. So I'm super
Yeah.
excited about Carnivore because of that fact that we can change
Mhm.
the narrative, not only with exercise and movement and those kinds of things. And we're going to talk about movement, I'm sure, later.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, definitely.
with food and eating and how we're teaching our young people what looks healthy um, for a healthy, you know,
Yeah,
human
for a healthy
being.
lifestyle. Yeah, exactly.
Healthy human
Exactly.
being.
I really wish that I knew about carnivore a little earlier with my kids being raised, but they at least are healthy eaters by the American diet standard. Um, and they actually pay attention to their foods. So I would love them to fine tune it. I know my daughter's listening in. I saw her name, hi Tiff. Um, but and one of my oldest son is a chef, and my youngest son is in theater, so he's very physically active because he sings, dance, he does all the things. So they're very healthy young adults. But yeah, I would love for them to fine tune it just a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they're watching you, they're going to see how it's done right.
And they've noticed the change. In fact, my daughter is one of the ones that I think I sent you one of those pictures. She's like, "Oh, mom, look at your face. It's so different now." She said,
Yes,
"Look
yes,
at it
yes.
from this old picture to now." I'm like, "Oh,"
Mhm.
because you don't see yourself changing, but
So what
others do.
we met probably about a couple months ago, I'm thinking,
Just a
maybe
couple of months
November?
ago. Yeah,
Right.
it was November.
So
Yeah,
since November, I can see, you know,
the more
the
defined.
face
I
getting
know. I'm
snatched.
loving this. I'm looking at myself. I'm like,
The face is getting
"Ooh, that's so
snatched.
cute."
So I'm gonna pop this up right here because this is what she's talking about. You looking good, girl. You are looking
Thank
good.
you. Thank
Yes,
you. You too,
doing the
though.
thing.
And I think because we're all trying to fine tune, it's making a difference. It's making a
Yeah.
difference. Yeah.
Yes. We have a couple of comments I'm going to pop up just so we can
Okay.
say hi to folks. I know that you already said hi to Tiff. Did you say
I
Tiff?
know you. Yep, that's my mini me. If her face was up here
Denisha.
right now, she would look, you go, "Oh my gosh, that is your daughter."
Uh-huh. I'm sure I would.
Yeah.
Denisha's here. Hey, Denisha,
Hey,
thank you so much for
Denise.
joining us tonight. She's listening in from Jackson. So for those of you that are listening in, why don't you drop a note in the comments, let us know where you're listening in from.
Yeah.
And then also Blue Sky Wanderer, I'm assuming
Blue
coming from
sky.
your channel. Do you know Blue Sky?
I know Blue Sky. Yes, I do. Hey, girl.
Okay, because I think Blue Sky is coming from your
And I know
channel.
she's had questions about our carnivore way of eating. So
Okay,
Blue Sky
super.
listening really good.
Yes, yes, yes. Julia's here. Hey,
Hey,
Julia.
Terri.
She's another member of our group, and we have an awesome community that we are building. And so Julia's part of that group, and it says, "My mom never felt we ate enough. She constantly would add to our plates, and my husband will tell you that I think he gained 20 pounds when we went to live with my parents for 2 months
I believe
in
it.
transition." Yes, because he felt guilty not eating everything she would give him. Yeah. So Clean Plate Club was like, you must be a member of the Clean Plate Club. Do not get up from the table until that plate's clean.
Right. And my mom, when my kids would stay with her, she actually would poke their tummies. Oh, I feel some more room in there. You got more room. So much so, I limited their visitation with her for a
Oh,
while.
wow. That's so funny because
Right.
mine was the opposite, Terry. People would poke my tummy to point
Mm-hmm.
out the fact that I was a little plump, little
Oh,
chubby.
wow. Well,
And
no, that's
so,
what she would do for me, but not to them.
mm.
For me, yes, it was always, yeah. Well, we won't go down that rabbit hole. That's a therapy session within itself.
I know, right? Dealing with childhood trauma. Oh my
Mm,
God. So
yeah.
Julia's saying both of your faces have changed since I've known you, which is not that long. Not only are they thinner, but they're extremely radiant. Oh,
Oh, thank you, Julia.
Julia.
Thank you.
Blue Sky Wander is from Maryland.
Yes,
So
yes, she
welcome,
is.
welcome. And
I'll tell
then,
you a little bit about her later.
okay, Dennis Harrison is watching from Newport, Tennessee.
Hi, Dennis. Hi,
Hi,
Dennis.
Dennis.
I can wave out the window. He's my neighbor.
Hey, neighbor in the tiny home community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, we're going to talk about the tiny. We're going to talk about the tiny
Yeah,
stuff.
it's later. It's
All right.
later.
So what I know is that you are an educator. So what was your
Mm-hmm.
inspiration to go into teaching? And what do you love most about it?
Right. Okay, so my inspiration is not like everybody else's. My inspiration was my kids. I wanted to be an educator for my kids, not really everybody else's kids. And I can say that now that I'm semi-retired. But actually, my degree is in business management administration. I didn't want to become a teacher.
Okay.
I didn't want to become a teacher. My mom was a teacher, my grandmother, my aunts, my great aunt, like, that whole family that usually has all of the folks in it, attorneys or doctors. But mine was in education. It was either education or nursing. And I did not want to become that. But once I started having kids, I wanted to have a profession that actually was flexible enough to raise my kids and be off when they were off, and
Yeah.
all the things, like, and just to know what was going on in the system. To me, that gave me they would come home and say, oh, we're not supposed to know that. Oh, yes, you are. Don't let me pull up curriculum right now. Here it is. This is what you got to do. But they were all pretty good academically, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, that's why I got into education.
That is so awesome. You know, a lot of people will homeschool for that reason. They want their kid, they want to understand and know what their kids are being taught. And I think that if you are capable of doing that and being in the education system, it will
Right.
be so valuable,
Right.
because even now, like, I've had my granddaughter for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I had her, she went home. But just trying to figure out what is it that they're doing, what is it?
Right. 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 And how
What
can you interpret it, because the language changes all the
you
time,
can't
and
interpret
yeah.
it. And everything's on the Chromebook. It's a
Mm-hmm.
language that they speak in education, but if you're not in education, it's difficult to translate it,
Exactly.
into just regular, I'm a project manager speak.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. In fact, I've had to adjust how I speak, because I still sometimes will go down that educational verbiage, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
wait, Terry, that's not regular day language, So make sure
Yeah.
people are understanding. I did find out that I was a natural at teaching. I think it's because I was
Mhm.
around a house or a family of educators,
Yeah.
and that I still like teaching, as far as I like seeing people to grow. I mean, I love when kids get that aha moment,
Yes.
because I still get my aha moment. I like teaching adults because I don't just teach kids, because I do it online now, just part-time. But I like teaching adults, and I like teaching them dance. But I think we'll
Yeah.
talk about that later.
Yes. So, are you retired from your teaching career and then like doing it part-time, or what happened? How'd
Yeah,
you're doing it part-time now?
I fully retired, even though I've thought about going back, but I'm not sure yet. But I do a professional tutoring online. So
Wow.
Yeah, it's different.
Congratulations on
I
being a
love it.
retiree. That's amazing.
I love it. Because now when kids sneeze, they're not on me. No.
Yes, great. Yeah. And I think some of the kids really need that online teaching, because
Mhm,
I feel like what happened when the pandemic hit,
mhm,
like our kids lost a lot of their social skills. And like my grandson, let me give an example. He just graduated last year,
okay. Mhm,
and he could not go back. He just could not go back to regular
mhm.
school, and he ended up finishing up online. So
Yeah, I get it.
there's a lot of value in having great teachers that can
Mhm.
do tutoring, do teaching online, and
Yeah.
help those kids make it through, because I think it messed with us all, but the kids
Yes, it
got
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
the kids really got, a short end of the stick on that pandemic thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was
And
tough.
everybody has a different way of learning. There's different modalities in education of learning. And we have to actually admit this generation is into tech. So
Yeah.
if they can see it on a screen, they'll pay more attention to it sometimes than you being in person. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That is so true. Like I have a granddaughter. I have 11 grandkids. I'm
Right.
not sure if
Right.
you knew that. 11,
Yeah.
11 grandkids. The baby is 2.
Hmm.
And she can do anything she wants to do on a computer, on a phone. I mean, she can do
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
It's just so crazy. She's just been born and growing up
Knowing
with
and
that.
watching. Yeah,
Yeah, knowing exactly what to do with the technology. So it's going to
exactly.
be really interesting to see these young people that, these technological wizards
Hmm. Hmm.
growing up, and see who they will become in the future. It's really
Right.
exciting stuff.
Right. Right.
All right, let's take a little bit of a shift, and we're going to talk about your carnivore lifestyle. So I'm
Okay.
just wondering, how did you first discover carnivore, and how did you decide to try it?
So this was actually back in about 2000, I'll say 2006 or 7. I was actually keto.
Mhm.
Just a little bit of history. My husband um, had cancer. He had colon cancer. And during the process of that, we were both introduced to keto, and it did help him, I think, elongate his life, being able to eat
Mhm.
keto. And now we know more about it. I wish we had known more then, but I really think him taking out a lot of the processed foods and some of the sugars out of his life,
Yeah.
because technically he lived longer than most people who was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. He lived 4.5 years longer after the diagnosis. And I
Wow.
think the record was 5 years.
Amazing.
So just knowing that, and in the process, of course, he's eating differently. I'm going to eat differently as well. I dropped from, because I was 240 something pounds, and I dropped 86 pounds during that whole process. So
Wow.
yeah, that was the smallest I had ever been. I felt better, all of the things. So yeah, I attribute the beginnings of that then. So fast forward to now, um, actually 2020 during the pandemic, since we're talking about the pandemic, life was different.
It was.
Yeah, I had, like I said, he passed away in 2009. Um, Fast forward, I was in another relationship, and we were engaged, and we were having a blast in 2020, like everyone else was. I was overeating. I was doing all the things. I won't even go down all the details, but I found myself being back at 236 or 38 pounds.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I also, Robyn, I found myself not being able to walk across the room. Literally, I could not walk across the room without losing my breath.
Wow.
I would go from the couch to the chair and like, oh my gosh, I can't even breathe anymore. So I'm like, I can't go out this way. In my head, I was just saying, I just cannot go out this way. I'm too young for this, you know? And I had promised myself, especially after taking care of my husband, that I had to take care of me as well. I wanted to be there for my grandkids. He wasn't able to make it that far, but I wanted to at least be there for my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, however long God has me on this earth. I wanted to do it because I wanted to make sure I was putting my best foot in. So I, of course, just like everybody else, went down the YouTube rabbit hole of everything, just watching different shows. And all I can say is I think God is behind a lot of YouTube. What is it called? The things that you watch, the algorithms. That's what I'm trying to say, the algorithms, because everything that was popping up is what I was needing. So I actually I just started looking up keto again because I was familiar with it. I'm like, keto make me feel better. I know keto, it helped me lose. So I started down that. And then of course I was researching more and more about it. And I came across Ade Fox. Are you familiar with her name?
What's the name? Ade?
Ade, She was
talking
called
about Black Carnivore?
Yes.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Yes. I used to watch her religiously. Oh, I love her. I miss her. And I'm putting it, like somebody else said not too long ago, Ade, if you can hear us, come back.
We're manifesting her to come back.
Yes, we're manifesting her. Come join the sister girls. Come back. You would love it here. But yeah, I even did a private consultation with her.
Nice.
And that's when my carnivore journey started. Like I said, it was kind of rough at first, but because I was so used to keto. And I think that's a lot of our journeys. You start keto because we still want to have the things in our life, and we buy still the process. We're too young in our journey to understand that process is process. It doesn't matter if it's keto or not.
Right.
Or if big companies put keto on the box, it's not necessarily the most healthiest thing. And that if you technically shop the parameter, and for us, just go straight to the meat counter, life is just so much better, you know. It's so many social adjustments I know we have to make being carnivore, but it's a process, it's a journey, and I know everyone can do it. So that's what got me back to Ketovore, and like I said, joining the sister girl group. I keep bringing that up, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, it made me go full carnivore, and I can see the difference. I can feel the difference, and I'm happy about it.
That's amazing. So have you seen any particular health benefits? I know you said that you were having an issue walking from across the room. So let me just ask, when did you start carnivore? Was that 2020?
I'll say more defined carnivore about 2021.
Okay, yeah.
Or ketovore.
And then what kind of health benefits have you seen? Any?
Oh my goodness. The first thing I saw was my alligator skin on my legs, especially. I still have traces of it, and it's not eczema. It's not, I don't know what it is. I know my grandmother had it and my mom had it a little bit, but it started clearing. It started clearing, smoothing out. My face, of course, smoothed out more. Don't have very few breakouts at all. It's usually, if it is, it's probably because I had a vegetable.
I hear you.
But yeah, my skin, like right now, I have on a little lip gloss and mascara. I have on no foundation.
What?
Nah.
You know you're fine.
You know. But anyway. But yeah, no, I don't wear foundation. I don't have to. It's really helped on that.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's helping on anxiety, because I low key had severe anxiety since I was the age of 18. My kids probably don't even know that. Yeah, because I would close the bedroom door and freak out totally. Yeah. it's given me mental clarity. And that's why I said God and carnivore helped me, because during 2021, 22, I was having to really think through where I was in my life. And it was almost like I couldn't concentrate. So I prayed a lot. And like I said, God seemed like he was just directing me, keep going carnivore, keep going carnivore. He was putting people in my life that I was watching on YouTube. And it was like the more I did carnivore, or closer to carnivore, the more clarity I got. The more I changed the way I was eating, the more I took the sugar out of my life, the more I was just intentional, it gave me clarity to change. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention?
I'm trying to think. Oh, just a couple of days ago, I had a little cyst under like this part of my arm, and it's not there. I didn't even realize it was gone. And I think I was talking to someone, and they were like, "Oh, I used to have something there," and I'm like, I'm feeling my arm. I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, my cyst is gone." I hadn't even realized that was gone. And it's a lot of little things that have been there for a while, and you just don't realize it's gone. Skin tags. I was getting a few skin tags. But yeah, they're gone. It's just little things,
So
but mostly mood.
Skin tags is really interesting because we can clearly say that skin tags are directly related to high insulin. And so when you change your way of eating so that your insulin is not constantly chasing all that sugar that you put in, then the skin tags can just drop right off. So if you guys if you have skin tags, you need to consider a very, very low carbohydrate diet. Because those things do not have to be. It is a direct sign of metabolic syndrome.
Exactly. But more than anything, the mood change. The mood change is everything. I don't ruminate mentally. I think you and I had that in common. That's what I connected with you with, that constantly overthinking, and could not stop the looping no matter what. I might start a loop, and then I'm like, oh, wait, I'm good. Okay, I can move on. or things might good example, recently, like 2 days ago, I got pulled over. I was speeding. I didn't realize I was speeding, though. It was actually a speed trap, because it was one of those where it's 45 miles, and I live in a little town. 45 miles, and then the 55 miles is like right here, but right in here is 35. And he was like, did you know you were going 45 and 35? I'm like, no. And I'm looking at the 55 literally right in front of me. I just needed to make it a few more inches. But that would have totally upset me. And now I'm like, I'll take care of it. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I love that about the way the carnivore way of eating changes those thought patterns. And I know for me, Terri, I thought that was a normal state of being. I should just be living with these racing thoughts, continuous obsession over food, obsessing over everything. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but if my phone, I would tell my people, do not call me. Don't call me on the phone, because I'm certain that someone has died.
Right.
And I would freak out.
You saying that.
And it's like just ridiculous thought patterns that are completely unnecessary. And I had no idea it was related to the food that I was eating.
Yeah. And you're just so much more calm. You react to people a lot differently. Not saying that in my head I'm thinking things, if you're going off on me or something. In my head I'm probably cussing you back out, but it's not coming out of my mouth. I can remain calm. I can remain calm.
And it's so funny to me, Terri, that like sometimes you'll be through a scenario and like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think all the things I should have said to that person cutting up. But I said the Lord wouldn't let me say it.
Right. And then
moment.
after it's done, you're like, I don't care anyway, whatever.
Right. Exactly. It's just whatever. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
get it. And I totally agree with you that the mental health benefits of going on a very, very low low carb ketovore or carnivore diet is probably the top of the line as far as, anxiety, depression. I'm sorry, I'm waving my pencil. Somebody's
That's
gonna
okay.
get me in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
But those
We know
things,
who.
the mental health issues,
Right.
if you can reduce those carbohydrates, it really, really does help.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about eating.
Okay.
What does a typical day of eating look like for you?
So now, again, I've been trying to fine tune since January. Whew, it's been a it's been a voyage. So I'm again, like I said, it's a process. You're so used to eating your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You're told to eat snacks. I ain't got time for all that. So since January, I have really fine tuned how I eat. So much so, I now do mostly OMAD.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not only do I mostly do OMAD, which is 1 meal a day for people who are not familiar. Not only do I do OMAD, I also do intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm closing my window in shorter and shorter and shorter and realizing I don't need all that food. I think you and I talked about because we were so used to eating the other way.
Yeah.
Um, even on carnivore, we were eating too much and not burning that off.
Right.
But again, I don't know how many of y'all know, but Robyn and I are kind of competitive. And even though Robyn's a little bit ahead of me right now, that's okay, girl. I ain't finished with my steps today. All right. But we're doing a walking challenge and we're all discussing. This is in our Hey Sister Girl group. So if you're not part of that, we'd love for you to join us. But we actually go back and forth and discuss. We have fun. We do all the things. But we really, it's kind of like iron sharpening iron in that group.
Mm-hmm.
And these ladies have helped me figure out a lot of loopholes that I wasn't catching within myself. And all in
Right.
a loving way, all in a loving way. Nothing, no one's mean or anything. But
Right.
yeah, it's really helped me to fine tune what I eat. So now I eat, excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. Now I usually eat, my window is supposed to be 18-6. So 6 hours eating and 18 hours fasting. But just like
Mm-hmm.
today, I fixed a protein bowl. I had 3 eggs. I had some bacon, but the fatty bacon, because I could tell the last couple of days I've eaten too lean. But that's the kind
Yeah.
of stuff that you learn after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had probably not quite a half a pound of sausage, but almost. And I did an egg scramble. I showed y'all that. Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it took me a while to eat it because I actually got full really quick, but I made it through. And then I had a little bit of beef trimmings that I had fixed the other day and didn't eat all of it. I finished off with that, and I've already started my fasting app back. I'm done.
Yep. I
Done
hear
for the
you.
day. Yeah, I'm still full. That's the best part of carnivore. You stay satiated, y'all. You don't want a snack. You don't want all this extra food.
Right.
And mentally, that mentally the mindset is the hardest part to change on that just because of habits. But now
Mm-hmm.
again, because I'm intentionally paying attention to it, I can go about my day and just be done with food. Close my kitchen down and I'm out.
Did you have any challenges with the transition, like going from the way you were eating to a carnivore or ketovore lifestyle? Were there any challenges there with that?
Definitely. I do like vegetables, so I always tell people, don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like the flavor. I love turnip greens, I love cabbage, I love green peppers and onions. And honestly, sometimes I still keep the green peppers and onions just to change up the pace on something. But it's very minimum that I might add it to. Like I had steak fajitas the other day, so it's more steak than the onions and peppers. But just give a different flavor profile. But my biggest thing was the ritual of going through the store. That was like, I even catch myself now. I go in, I'm like, I don't have to go over there to produce. I can go over there to dairy because I need some butter and maybe some cottage cheese.
Yeah.
But mostly I just go straight to the back where the meat counter is, and that's it. And it's so weird. Like if you see me in the store for a long time, it's because I'm trying to get my steps in. It's not because I'm purchasing food.
Yes.
It's definitely not that. But yeah, the mindset is the hardest part, changing what you thought was right.
Yeah. And I used to go down every single aisle of the store. Oh,
sorry.
I'm getting a call.
Yeah, it went through my computer. Sorry.
I know mine does that sometimes too. No worries, it's cool. I used to go down every single aisle in the store and look at everything when I had the time to do it. And my thing was cooking. I love to cook. And I love to cook all these different cuisines and stuff. So I would be the person with all the library books with the Chinese cuisines and Indian cuisine and learning how to make all these different dishes. And so I do miss that sometimes. That's probably one of the most challenging things for me because I'm a foodie. I love to cook, and I'm not getting my Jones on from that.
Right. And cooking sometimes is our love language too,
Yes,
but
it is.
Robyn, I've learned to adapt to that. Well, I look at it as now what I eat every day can be the basic. But on special occasions, I can fix, like I said, my fajitas.
Yeah.
It's still the meat, but I put a little pepper and onion in it.
Yeah.
And it's not throwing me off,
Exactly. Well, that's good. If you can eat a little bit of vegetable, I can't eat any. I get this eczema problem, which I guess it comes from vegetables and sugar, anything that converts to sugar. So since meat does not convert to sugar, I don't get any issues. But yeah, if you can have a little bit of the taste. In fact, I tried something recently. As a matter of fact, a couple of days ago, I had like minced onion and some ground beef. Can't do it. Can't do it. Wow. I just can't do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just can't do it.
Because I love me some onion and burger.
I cannot do it. So there's no point in me fooling myself into thinking that I'm going to be converting back to like a keto or a keto. I just can't because my body can't handle. I'm so sensitive to everything. Have you found that you have increased sensitivities to food?
I was just about to say that I can tell if I've eaten out and they had a seed oil near wherever oh my gosh, I can feel it.
Yep.
I can feel it immediately when I am walking down the store aisles, just to get my steps in. When I go by the bread and the bakery, it's a chemical smell. It's not even butter smelling. It's like so my sense of smell has been hyped up. My sense of taste, I'm finding I don't need as much in seasoning. I'm really geared more just to the Redmond salt or the Redmond seasoned salt. Sometimes I'll put a little fresh garlic and onion powder, but that's about it. And sometimes I don't even put that now. And that's really weird because I got a whole shelf full of seasonings.
I know. It's the same here. I use that Redmond seasoning salt on everything. It's like gold. It's so good. It is expensive, but my God, it's so good.
It's so
I cannot let it be gone. I'll just keep ordering it because it's just absolutely delicious. And
well, if you're not buying anything else, it technically is not expensive.
Right. Because I'm not buying any of the other stuff. That's right. Exactly. So, well, that's really good. You have a couple of questions, and so let's pop these up. Blue Sky Wonder wants to know, does this way of eating help with the menopause belly?
Well, actually, I wish I had been doing this during menopause because it would have helped me not to get the belly, but it is helping me get rid of the belly that I did get during menopause. So yeah, because that's your help me out, Robyn. Which fat is that?
Fatty liver.
Fat, like fatty liver,
Oh, visceral
subcutaneous
fat.
fat.
It's the visceral.
Visceral.
Fat.
That's it. That's the word. Yeah, that's your visceral fat, and it's because of your hormonal change. And what carnivore will do is help you balance your hormones, and that helps during menopause, because during menopause they're up, they down, they're all over the place. And I really, even though my menopause journey wasn't extreme, it could have been better if I had been carnivore at that time. I can tell that.
Totally agree. So when we go into ketosis, it is a fat burning mode. I mean, if you just boil it down and like keep it super surface level, when you go from sugar burning, which our bodies don't really burn, but like if I keep it basic, right? From a sugar burner to a fat burner, and your body is burning off that extra fat. So this visceral fat, there's a few things that can really help with that. I'm not sure if I lost Terri or if it's just me, but she'll be back if she does drop off. So that visceral fat, like doing sprinting is really good for that, or like high intensity workouts is really good for it. And then also intermittent fasting, like Terri was just talking about, is really good for getting rid of a visceral fat. And so, yes, going on a carnivore way of eating can definitely help with visceral fat. So hopefully that answers your question about menopause belly. Hey, Jay, we're happy to see you here. Terri had a little bit of technical difficulty, so hopefully she'll be able to pop right back in, and we'll get her go-to meal as well. So let's see here. Do we have some comments? So here we go. There was a question around whether we're going to share our group. And so I did drop that in the chat here. This is the Hey Sister Girl Facebook group. We also do have a Marco Polo group, which is like a 24/7 access type of a group. And to join that, you would like become a member, click the join button on my channel and choose the Carnivore Life 24/7 option. And then you can join into that Marco Polo group, which is 24/7, 24/7 access to, it's 24/7 access. So we're constantly talking in there. It really is a great, great community. So, but this is for Facebook, and it is the Hey Sister Girl group. And if you're interested in that, you can click on that link. And then it is for ladies right now. So sorry, guys, we'll have something for you guys coming up in the near future. So do you guys have any questions in the meantime while we're waiting for Terri? I'm not sure, she might have lost her connection, so I'm going to just check my I'm just going to check my text messages and make sure she comes back in. Yep. So she said she somehow got disconnected. So hopefully she'll be able to come right back in. In the meantime, I guess I can talk to you guys about my week. So what's going on in February with me is that I have been continuing on with kind of what I've been doing for the month of January, which was OMADs and basically same thing as Terri, doing a lot of intermittent fasting, reducing my overall consumption. And I was really excited this morning because I'm continuing to be in weight loss mode, which is very cool. So I'll tell you how much I lost this month. I'm just going to take a quick look here. So on February 1st, I was on February 2nd, I was 152. Today I was like 151.0. So I lost another pound so far this month, and it's been really, really good. I am so sorry to have to tell you guys this. Terri is having trouble with her Wi-Fi. So we're probably going to cut this show short. We'll get her back though, because I had a whole bunch more questions for her. And, you know, she's a tiny home person. She lives in a tiny home. She's building a tiny home right now. So I'd love for her to come back and talk about that. And then she also is a big time traveler. And so we want to make sure that we get her back. So I will re-invite her again. She can come back and finish her story. So I guess we're going to cut it short right here at 45 minutes. I appreciate everybody being here for Carnivorous Grandma Speaks Women of Wisdom series. If you're interested in being interviewed on my channel, either for the Women of Wisdom series or for my regular Carnivorous Grandma Speaks series, please let me know by sending me an email. And let's see if I can put my banner up. Where is it at? Oh my gosh, I don't have one. Okay. It's Robyn, ROBYN.HERRON@hotmail.com. I'm going to pop it up. And there we go. So let me know if you want to come and be a guest on this show. I would love to have you on, let you tell your story. And then the other thing is that I do have a monthly devotional that I'm publishing on my website. So if you're interested in getting a copy of my devotional, it is at CarnivorousGrama.com. So I'm popping that up as well. It's www.CarnivorousGrama.com. And you guys can check that out. So the March devotional will be coming out towards the end of this coming week. And right now we have a January and a February devotional up. And the devotional does include a carnivore motivation for every single day. So hopefully you guys can check that out. All right, you guys, I am going to drop off and I'll be back next weekend for another episode of Carnivorous Grandma Speaks. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.